Vomiting's overrated. And now, snack time!
It's time for Snackboy in the house. Time to watch and enjoy a snacky poo. You can't stop Snackboy today. It's coming at you whether you want it, whether you don't. You're gonna get it. You're gonna get it. Today's snack is about Mommy. Hi, Mom. Sue Crummett, back home in Maryland on Okalona Street. Mwah! Love you, Mom. Miss you. Say hey to Dad. And Kenny and Kate, his Filipino bride, his beautiful Filipino bride. Well, back when I was a kid, a lot of you know that Mom didn't take kindly to the idea of her boy Terry, a horror movie aficionado, watching horror movies. You see, if there's one thing Sue Crummett was uptight about, it's violence. It's not so much nudity or sex. I mean, you know, she wasn't exactly pro that, but Sue Crummett didn't like the idea of us watching gory movies, and I loved them. I couldn't get up. When Friday the 13th came on TV, I would, like, you know, close the door and just be so close to it, ready to turn the channel in case she should open the door and have a fit, a total fit. I lived in fear for the day she caught me watching a scary movie. So I ordered a book. This is before, you know, like the internet, but I ordered a book through a magazine, and it was a book on horror movies, the best slasher movies ever. And the article promised it would be filled with just wonderful, horrific, bloody, detailed pictures, and an interview with Tom Savini, who did like the makeup effects for a lot of the good horror movies, and just all sorts of the good stuff. All my favorite movies: Halloween, Friday the 13th, Psycho, Black Christmas, Suspiria, all of them. And so I went to Mom and I said, Mom, can I order a book? And she said, what kind of book? And I was like, movies, book on movies. What kind of movies? Just different kinds of movies. Not particularly any one kind. How much? $19. Okay, Terry. That sounds okay. So she helped me order the book, not knowing it's a horror movie book, and between the time the book came to the house, it was report card time. And she opened my report card, and it was pretty bad. And she was like, Terry, these are all C's. You're not a C student. And I said, well, it looks like I obviously am a C student. And she was like, yeah. You know, anyway, so she was like, well, when your book comes, Terry, guess what? I'm locking it away in the drawer, and I've got the key right here. And you're not going to read the book until you bring home a good report card. So the book came, and she didn't even undo the wrapper. And she locked the book away in her drawer, and I was like, oh, I had to have my horror movie book. I mean, I've been watching the mailbox forever, and I just couldn't. I was like, no, Mom, please, anything but that. Ground me, ground me. And she said, no book until good grades. So the book came, she put it in her drawer. She didn't even know it was a horror book, and she locked it and threw away the key. But guess what? When she went to church one day, I played sick, and I looked for that key, and I went through her room, and I found the key. And I opened it, and I took the book out, and I took the wrapping that the book came in, and I put one of my school books in it. Let's face it, I didn't use it. And I took the wrapping and put the school book in it, put it back in, put the key back where it came from, and I took my horror movie book, and I took the newspaper, not the newspaper, the paper bags from the grocery store that you made book covers out of. I was so clever. I was so sneaky, and I covered the horror movie book so she couldn't see it, and I put history on it, pretended like it was a textbook. So every time she was around for the next 2 weeks, I just studied my wonderful bloody horror movie book, pretending like it was my history book. And one day she came to me and she said, Terry, we need to have a talk. And I thought she'd found out I was living in utter fear. Talk about what? Don't bite your nails, Terry. Talk about what? What? How come, Terry, that your brother Kenny is so good? He's such a good boy. He likes it when I help him with his homework. Why don't you ever like it when I help you? Why don't you ever ask for my help with homework? Don't you think I could help you with your homework? I think I could, and I'd like to help you with your homework tonight. Get your books and come here to the kitchen table. I'm going to help you. No! No! get your books and come to the kitchen table. I'm going to help you. So I got my books, and I followed her in the kitchen, sat at the table, and there I remembered the history book. Under the English book was a history book. I had to get it out of the kitchen. Do you have to go to the bathroom before we start, Mom? No, I'm okay, honey. Can I go? Sure. So I grabbed my history book and my English book and started heading to the bathroom. Stop! What are you doing with those books? What are you doing with your school books, Terry? We're going to have to help you with your homework. I don't need these. We're going to do my math and science, Terry. Bring the books back. I want to look through them so I can decide what to help you with, just to see what kind of level you're at. So I left the book with her, and I started to the bathroom. She opened the English book, and I started planning and plotting. And I thought, what can I do? And I thought of the best plan I could. I flushed the toilet as many times as I could until it started to flood. And I went, Mom, the toilet's flooding! The toilet's flooding! But it was too late, people. She had found my horror movie book, and she went, Terry! And she called me in. And just as she came into the bathroom with the horror movie book, she looked down at the flood I had created. And all hell broke loose.